Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and in this video guys, I want to talk about briefly discuss the whole Iden Versio ship, and then I want to get into some speculation on who I think the next Galactic Legend will be. I'm going to show you guys just some of the ideas that I have, why I think it, and we'll get into it guys. So before we do that, you know the drill. Smash that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, let's get into this video. So let's first talk about the Iden Versio ship, right? The TIE Defender here. I just unlocked it today just through the Galactic chase that's happening. And then I actually took Iden to Gear 8 just so that I could, somewhat use this ship, get some extra power for territory battles. Here's the thing. They're already looking at nerfing this ship, or they're looking at the interaction because it's beating Executor. And this is, again, another, even more embarrassing than the Traya Omicron. Because at least Traya Omicron, you're taking an existing character, you're adding new stuff to her. There's going to be something. There's going to be bugs, right? Because you don't know how some of those order of operations happen until you see them in action. So I can at least give them a little bit of a shred of ease them on that, right? But this is even more embarrassing. This is a brand new ship. You just had to fix the targeting issue with the scythe. So now you have this ship in the game. It's beating Executor, and the Executor is their baby, right? And they've said that we don't want to disrupt the Executor and Profundity meta. Same thing with Negotiator and Malevolence, how those two were kind of paired together. It's the same thing with Profundity and Executor, that they don't want tons of counters. They don't want the same ships to be able to beat these fleets. So I get it. I think it's embarrassing that this made it into the game yet again, and they're probably going to fix it because they don't want easy wins against Executor. So anyway, I want to cover that, guys. So you can check more on the forums for that, but that's kind of the scoop of it. They haven't done anything yet, but they're looking at it. So let's talk about the next GL. Who do I think it's going to be, guys? And I'm just joking. It's not going to be Wampa, but we need to talk about our glorious king. If you guys want to see Wampa hit Relic 8 live on stream, you guys ask for it all the time. All we need to do, get this channel to 5,000 subscribers, guys. We're almost halfway there. I want to get to 2,500 subscribers, obviously by the end of January. That's going to be amazing. But let's continue this progress into February and the rest of the year, guys. So make sure you hit that button, all right? So who do I think this next GL is going to be? Before I scroll down, I want to show you guys a few things that caught my attention. So first, in Conquest, right? The global feats don't really give anything away, right? The global feats seem to be a little bit more, designed for Admiral Trench or, of course, Trip Zero BT1 because they're new and we have to have the new characters in here. But then they have C-3PO and R2-D2, which, why would you need C-3PO and R2-D2? Well, who's a character that we see those two with all the time, right? So just keep those things in mind, right? So C-3PO, R2-D2. And then the one that I really saw that, there was the Sector 2, I think it's Sector 2 feat here, of you need Rebel fighters, right? Which just got me thinking, right? Okay, big deal. They've asked for that before, right? But you've got R2-D2, C-3PO. You've got that Rebel fighter thing in there, right? I'm trying to think, was there anything else in here that I saw? No, nothing crazy there. I think it's in Sector 4, yes. Sector 4 then has the Wondrous feat. Has some really great feats. But right in here, win 14 battles with a full squad of Ewok units. So when there's a Galactic Challenge, which there is a Galactic Challenge for Ewok units right now, and I'll talk about that a little bit, but you have 14, you're going to have 3 conquests now where Ewok units is a feat. And you guys know that CG has done this to us before, where they've kind of thrown these things in here and then made them a bigger deal, like Inquisitors were needed for so many different feats. They still are, right? But before they were needed for GI, they were always in Conquest, and we always thought, oh, it's just because, they want to make money. But it was a hint almost, work on these characters because there's something coming. And why would Ewoks be in here, right? Well, probably because we're going to need them for something. So let's go to our Galactic Challenge here. And you guys, probably some of you know where I'm heading if you already get Ewoks, right? But we have Ewoks here. And inside of Ewoks is, the Galactic Challenge is against Han Solo, Commander Luke, R2, Chewbacca, and Princess Leia, right? So Han Solo is a, raid reward. And then you have 3 legendary characters, so we can't get shards for them. And then Princess Leia, who they're not giving us shards for. They are giving us shards for Luke Skywalker, Farm Boy, which I thought was interesting. I thought the Chewpio, that's fine, right? That makes sense. Chopper, just kind of throwing him in there. I don't know why Chopper's there. I think they just needed somebody. But then Luke Skywalker Farm Boy got me thinking, what is Farm Boy Luke really well best known for? And it's going to save Princess Leia. So I think that my strongest shout case for a new GL is a Leia. This would make sense. It's the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. And we have 3 versions of Leia in the game right now. Her A New Hope appearance, right, as Princess Leia. Rebel Officer Leia Organa, which is from Empire Strikes Back. And then we've got Bush Leia, which is from Return of the Jedi, right, early on as she goes to save Han Solo. So we've got 3 versions. I think that we can expect one more version of her. If I had to guess, I would say it's like the Endor version of Leia, right? A Rebel GL. I think she will be that character. But it got me thinking then, like, obviously we could go into all the different wrecks, right? And I didn't want to put those in here just because, like, it's so speculative, but you can guarantee that Ewoks will be needed for her, right? You could almost guarantee that. The only other shout I could potentially see is if they release just like a marquee, like Endor Leia. We don't really have a Return of the Jedi version of Han Solo, right? So if we start with like the first Han Solo, right? This to me is his appearance from A New Hope, right? This is the costume, right? And he has a very similar costume between Return of the Jedi and this one, but I think with the sleeves rolled up past his arms, I do believe that's more inside of A New Hope than Return of the Jedi. You have Captain Han, right, which is Empire Strikes Back. You've got veteran Han from A New Era from Force Awakens, right? Stormtrooper Han, A New Hope, right? Like clear shout out there. And then, obviously young Han from the Solo movie. So we're really missing a Return of the Jedi version of him. So whether they do a marquee of Leia or a marquee of Han, right, with their Endor selves, that could very well be the case. We obviously have Jedi Knight Luke from Return of the Jedi, right? We've got all the different characters. So those 2 characters, the reason I picked them out more than anybody else, like you could get General Calrissian, right, with Lando. I mean, there's tons of characters we could throw in here. But here's the thing, right? With the Ewoks, right, that the Ewoks are going to be needed for Leia. So I did want to show this, that if I had to make a gut assumption, you're going to need Wicket, right? Wicket and Leia play a huge role together. My money says you're going to need Tebow because he's the one that captures Han Solo and Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, right? Because remember, that feat in Conquest is C-3PO and R2-D2. Why them together? Well, because they're always traveling together, right? They're always together. C-3PO is the one the Ewoks worship, right? Which makes sense, right? And so I just think like that kind of ties into the Ewoks. I'd also say that you're going to need Scout and Legray. These 4 Ewoks I would almost like shoe in as yes, you need them. The reason I think Wicket is just for pure lore purposes, right? Tebow is the same thing, more lore purposes. You guys can see my cat behind there. There's Nim. So you guys can say hello to Nymeria. She's our 2nd oldest cat. She's the middle one there. The reason I think they'll leave out, if I had to make a like really good decision, I would say that they probably do Paploo before they did these 2. Because Chirpa has the lead, right? Like they're not going to want to give you a full Ewok team that you can use all the time, right? They're going to want to force you to have to level up some other characters. So I think that if these 4 for sure, 5th slot I'm not sure about, but I would say it'd probably be Paploo, maybe Chief Chirpa too, but definitely these ones would be like amazing shouts for the Ewoks we would need for these GLs. And I just want to cover them because they're getting a lot of attention right now, not only in the GC, but in Conquest. So with all this speculation, guys, like it makes me excited because I do think Rebels need a Galactic Legend. They've been really good for a long time, and I think they've kind of taken some steps back, right? That they've lost a little bit of that foothold they had with some of the new things that have come in. So I'd be really curious to see how Leia does. Rogue One Profundity has kind of done a good job of at least making them a little bit more competitive, but I'd love to see like Rebels kind of be in the forefront of Galactic Legends. I obviously love the Rebels. The original trilogy is my favorite, so I'd love to see a Rebel GL. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Do you agree with these assumptions? Do you just think, and again, guys, this is not me doing any data mines, right? This is just me looking at the game from the lens that I have. I'm not looking at daily logins. Like, I really think that they're just trying to build us into something. And with those Ewoks in Conquest, who knows? It could just be a red herring. But I really think that it's something that we need to be paying attention to and preparing ourselves for. Guys, that's the video. Like and subscribe. Comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you. Cheers.